Good morning and welcome to TMI Socials. It's a new day with trendy gist to talk about. I am Anuluapo Stevens, your social media guide. Now let's kickstart with a trending gist that went all over the social media space yesterday as the presidential candidate of the People's Democratic Party, PDP, in the 2023 general elections, Atiku Abubakar, has asked President Bola Tinubu to step aside if the shoe of leading Nigeria, wait for it, is too big for him. Atiku, who said that Nigeria does not need what he described as another tourist-in-chief, berated President Tinubu for embarking on private visits outside the country, while Nigerians have been kidnapped and killed on a regular basis. The former vice president, in a post on X, formerly Twitter, yesterday said that President Tinubu was playing fiddle while Nigeria was drowning in the ocean of insecurity. Now, meanwhile, what happened yesterday again, the presidency also reacted by describing as reckless a statement by the ex-vice president Atiku Abubakar for calling the resignation of President Bola Tinubu over rising killings and kidnappings in Nigeria. In a statement, the special advisor to the president on information and strategy, Bayo Onanuga, said contrary to Atiku's claims, Tinubu is on top of the security situation in Nigeria. Now let's see how the social media streets reacted to this. This user says, that's Falan on X, it says, we are at the abyss now and no time for political correctness any longer. Time to hit the bull's eye and stop mincing words. Thanks for speaking up, elder statesman. That's what he is saying on X. Let's see another reaction that we have on the story. Now, this user, Queen B, says, it seems Tinubu doesn't understand the urgency of the time and the critical, situation facing Nigeria at this point. How can you be holidaying while your currency is heading to the bin? Your economy is heading towards destruction. Terrorism, banditry, and kidnapping are at all times highs. Looting and stealing are the order of the day. Your neighbors have all deserted you, leaving you vulnerable. Existing investments are leaving in droves. And in all of this, everyone is watching as though it's all rosy. I can't wrap my head around it. That's what Queen B is saying there. Quite a lengthy one with so many things on the particular bits. All right. Now, finally, on this story, Danielle on X says, articles, it's a fact that Tinubu's government has been greatly disappointing. You should be the last person talking about 24/7 leadership. There are few allegations against you, but aside that, where was your empathy when late Deborah was brutally killed in Sokoto during the campaign season? That's what Daniel is asking on the social media space this morning. Now let's move over to the second story. Yesterday, hashtag the national minimum wage was trending as the federal government inaugurated a 37-man tripartite committee on national minimum wage. The committee is to recommend a new national minimum wage for the country. Vice President Kashim Shettima, who inaugurated the committee at the council chamber of the Presidential Villa Abuja, charged them to ensure the timely submission of their recommendations. Shettima said the decision is to set up the committee is actually a recognition of the need to ensure a decent living wage and in compliance with the existing National Minimum Wage Act of 2019, which will expire in a few months from now. Let's have a feel of what went down yesterday, and of course I'll be here for you. Let's go over to the street of socials to get your thoughts. This user, Myri, says, when it is time to buy exotic cars, the committee will not be inaugurated. Time for minimum wage. Inauguration of committee sets in. Our leaders are doing well. Thumbs up to them. All right, moving over to another reaction. Moving over to another reaction that we have. This one says, another committee on minimum wage. Meanwhile, some sectors are yet to receive what? Between 25 to 30% was approved in 2023. When are they going to pay the arrears? That's the question being asked this morning. That's the question Charles is asking this morning. Moving over to another one. Moving over to another reactions that we have. Okay, now this one says, how many months will they use to deliver the needed goods? If we could just go back to that reaction. How many months will they use to deliver the needed solution to salary in Nigeria? Hope it won't take another 8 months, like the months they used in setting up the committee. That is what this user is saying on X. Moving over to my third story for today. A lawmaker, Akin Rotimi, broke down in tears yesterday on the floor of the House of Representatives while lamenting the killings of 2 traditional rulers in Ekiti State. Rotimi, a member representing Ekiti North 1 federal constituency in the House, called the attention of the House to the wicked killings of 2 monarchs by gunmen. Rotimi, who also is the spokesman for the House, yesterday raised a motion of urgent national importance during resumption of plenary after a month break by the House. Let's have a feel of when went down yesterday in Ekiti State.
Present this motion of urgent national importance on the criminality currently ravaging Ekiti State. The House notes that there has been an increase in criminal activities in Ekiti North 1 federal constituency in recent times, resulting in the loss of lives and property. The House also notes that the constituency is exposed to peculiar security challenges due to the nature of our forest and topography, and more painfully, further aware that because of the topography.
Right, now my final story for today. A lecturer actually in UNIDEL University recently called for a student for free counseling session over her long braids and eyeshadows she displayed whilst on campus. If we could just see the video right now, hopefully, and we have reactions to it.
Oh, look at your eye, even this eye. Come. Where is the dean of this faculty? Where is the dean of this Keep time that hair until you get blessed. Very good. Dean. This child, they should take her to counseling units. This eye shadow must be removed. Even allow them to no, forget about that one. This one first. This eye shadow is not allowed. So
forget about the slippers.
All right, let's quickly move over to the social media streets for your reaction. City Boys Ogar says, remember, insecure people grow up too, so they end up projecting their insecurities on young ones looking good. That's what he says. Another reaction to this story. Real Jack on Instagram says, please, discipline is not a curse, but necessary to shape your person, and more so when in school, which is the reason why the school certifies you as a graduate in character and otherwise. Whatever that is worth doing well. On the flip side to the story. And finally on the story, okay, this one says, when did long braids become indecent? Many of these so-called teachers need to be mentally checked. And Lord Dabbs finally says, I feel it's just envy. Back then, they could do all of this. Just book, book, book. These days, girls would still do all of this and still excel academically. Right, of course. And then if you check it out, if you really want to check out stuff, you will find out that female children are much more intelligent than the male folks. Because I am female, and of course I have to say that, right? Am I right, Evans?
Well, you're right.
I am right? I know.
I know you always support your own, but I was just wondering, in a university, I think I'm not trying to support indecent dressing, but I think.
But would you actually call that indecent? I mean, she was just on the long braids and eyeshadow, and
to some people they'll say it's indecent. I mean, because
really,
that's the way they'll look. I mean, for the lecturer to react that way, it shows that for her it's not too good. Anyway, I was listening to you, watching you backstage too, and the particular story caught my interest, the one that has to do with the minimum wage.
Yes.
Now, in the first place, the tripartite committee that the federal government has constituted, I want to say here that members of that committee, I don't think any one of them, they really know what Nigerians are going through. If they really want to come up with a living wage in the country, I think they should go to the streets of Nigeria and ask Nigerians what they are going through.
Right.
I mean, a situation whereby for you to survive, I've done my own experimentation. I mean, for you to survive as a Nigerian, you need at least 30,000 naira on a daily basis.
On a daily basis.
You have to buy fuel in your car. You have to buy fuel in your generator. You have to feed your family, at least for a family of 5, 3 children and a wife, including you making 5. You provide a breakfast, lunch, and supper or dinner. So you need at least 30,000 naira. So if you put that together, 30,000 naira times 31, so you know what the living wage should be in Nigeria. Okay,
so, but if we're to be a little bit realistic, because I know the federal government would say we do not have enough money to do all of these things.
Yeah, that's what
how much would you peg the right amount for the minimum wage in Nigeria?
As from 500,000 naira.
500,000 naira. Oh my God! Do you know?
If you don't have to calculate that now, it may not even be enough.
Really? But do you know there's still some persons receiving like 30,000 naira every month?
That's why.
And living in Nigeria at this current state.
That's why we're struggling. That's why we're struggling. Nigerians are going through. They are going through. They are going through.
Okay, and would you also want to react to the story of the lawmaker who was shedding tears?
Yes, I joined that, that's a reaction that has to, that said that he was shedding crocodile tears. I mean, the onus lies on the Ekiti State House of Assembly now to do the needful. I mean, they are there, they have the opportunity to ensure that they legislate on their legislation. If they have not been stiffer, penalties for kidnappers, criminals in the state, I think it's high time that they have to do all that now. Because, I mean, we're following what happened in Plateau State weeks and days ago, only for us to see that it's cascading down, south and all that. And who knows, Edo State may be the next state.
No way, no way. Please don't come here, please. Yeah. On a lighter note still. But anyway, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
For being here with me. That's my bit for today. I'll see you again tomorrow.